Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, guys, guess what? Some of you may know this car, some of you may not. But finally got this out of storage. Don't mind me, I'm dying. It's cancer, it's fine. But back out of storage. Hooray! For those of you who don't know, this is my 98 Acura Integra. This car's been through so many different transformations, so many different engines. We just redid the full cage on it, cut out the floor, gonna do a full flat bottom. Yeah, it's got a radium fuel cell. It's going to be rear mounted radiator. I need to build custom ducting and stuff on the hatch. But yeah, got everything back out of storage and gonna start working on this thing. I am stupid excited. As we're sitting currently, I need to pull off a bunch of stuff, send off a bunch of stuff to get coated. The traction bar needs powder coated, this little strut brace needs coated. I'm probably gonna coat the intercooler, make it black so it kind of just goes with the build. It currently has an FCS rear subframe. This is the V1 subframe. This was the one that FCS said, oh, it should be fine on a road course. Well, come to find out it's not fine on a road course, which really ticks me off. But so I need to take this one out, purchase the V2 subframe, the one that's super crazy heavy duty reinforced and it's not going to break on a road course. So I will have this one available for sale. If anybody knows anybody that wants an FCS, they are great for street driving, drag racing, everything like that. They're just not good for throwing them into a corner, especially on the tire setup that we're going to be going with. Yeah, all of this came out of the car. So I had boxes and just back of this was full of stuff. So got the Inline Pro adapter plate to go from J to K. So this is a J35, and hiding back here, got this lovely unit. Pretty much have the full home development catalog, all of the outer tie rods, front ball joints, the rear trailing iron plates, tons and tons of help from our lovely friends over at Downstar. Thanks, Frank. What else we got here? Tons of wiring, AEM all over the place. I start pulling things out and like, oh, I forgot I bought that. No, I forgot I had that. And we've got Haltech tire pressure monitoring system, Infinity 8 ECU. There's a AEM CD7 dash. There's the full vehicle dynamics kit, which will tell us X, Y, Z, yaw. There is the AEM 8-channel EGT. Totally forgot I bought a Tilton oil pump, so it sounds like we're going to put a cooler on the transmission. That's part of the inline. Move some stuff here. Rob over at Track Tough. Cannot say enough about this dude. I absolutely love this dude. This dude, I love his business, what he does, what he means. He's a one-man show. Definitely puts out quality stuff. Absolutely love his stuff. But we are going to be taking off. These were fittings that I had built. Oh, if I can get there. These were fittings that I had built, so we're going to take those off and put on Rob's setup. So super nice. Cannot wait to get this thing on. Bought PCI spherical upper control arms. I'll take the Comp 2 ones off. EMAP sensors, all the hardware, EGTs for everything, dual widebands. We're going to be using VS Racing 6766 dual ball bearing, billet, the whole shebang. I don't know if we're going to be using this oil cooler or not yet, but got this on a screaming deal. Of course, someone's a hoarder and they can't really say no to parts. And of course, everything's been sitting for absolutely forever, but huge oil cooler. Yeah. Ended up sending everything. I don't know if I showed you all this, but ended up sending everything over to get coated. So all of the hot parts, all of the exhaust, everything has been completely done up, all by header shield. Stuff is retarded expensive, but it should definitely help with keeping temps down. So all the hot parts have been coated. Yeah, totally forgot that I bought way too much of this 20 AN braided line. The shifter for the sequential box, and it goes on, more and more parts. So all the wiring for the car, there's just stuff everywhere. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna probably start by getting the adapter plate put on. Once the adapter plate's put on, then I can bolt the trans on. If I can have this hanging on the side mounts, then at that point I can pull, the intercooler is just sitting here, then I can pull the front traction bar off, because currently this is holding it up. I can pull the front traction bar off, then I can pull the rear mount off, then I can pull the subframe off, and get the different subframe on it, get all these parts over the powder coating, and get moving. But yeah, other than that, got a smoking deal on these from a local guy. Drive Shaft Shop 5.9s. That was one thing that I was worried about. I've broken so many axles in this thing, it's retarded. But yeah, that's the car in a nutshell. I've got a rear bumper. I planned on putting the rear bumper on, and then this is going to be the outlet for the radiator. These are not the wheels. I don't really care for the whole stretch look, but these are just a set of rollers that fit currently. Oh, I need to pull the e-brake cables out. We're going to be doing a hydraulic e-brake. It does have electric steering. I just need to fabricate the rest of the column. This is a really cool firewall bulkhead. This thing has a crazy amount of plumbing running inside the car. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I don't really have any other options. And because we did the flat floor, the exhaust does run through the car as well. So the exhaust will end up coming out through that hole. Once it comes out through the hole, it immediately just shoots out sideways and will come out kind of back of the door. I've got everything to tunnel everything off, so I just need to get all that installed. Then I can build a center console. Then I can try to figure out where all the wiring's going, where the shifter's going to mount. The seat, it's just going to have one seat. I'm going to try to put it back as far as I possibly can. All right, another Saturday. So working on the adapter plate for the Integra. The adapter plate was too thick. We've got a Gen 1 plate and we need a Gen 2 plate, but the Gen 2 plate is a custom plate that's back ordered, that's gonna take too long, and it's gonna cost too much money. So, Bryant being Bryant, we're just gonna end up machining our current plate and machining it down. So, gonna get everything lined up in the machine here, and we're gonna machine this down. I've already started, just for testing purposes. We've got a 4-inch wide face mill. We're going to face mill this down. This way it does not exactly work, so I'm probably going to take this and turn it 90 degree, just because the actual table's not wide enough. I have a very, very basic mill machine. But let me get this flipped around here, and we'll get machining some more. This plate is currently 3/4 of an inch thick. We need to take it from 3/4 of an inch down to 1/2 inch, so I need to pull a 1/4 inch off. Let's see. I'm sure it's going to take multiple passes. I don't think this mill head is going to be, or I think the tooling's fine. It's honestly probably my machine that is just not going to want to take that much off it at once. But let me finish mounting this up, and then we'll start cutting. plate put on. I love these bolts. I ordered these bolts. They're an extra large head. Super nice. They work really, really good in here. Trying to apply up as much clamping force as possible. Anyway, Inline Pro has two different kits. They have a Gen 1 and a Gen 2. The Gen 1 is for the older J series. The Gen 2 is for the newer J series. We are using the newer J series engine and crank. So we technically needed a Gen 2. So I don't know if you remember, but that plate used to be 3/4 of an inch thick. I chopped it up on the mill. I took a 1/4 inch off of it. So now it's a Gen 2 plate. So it's the 1/2 inch thick plate instead of a 3/4 inch plate. I do remember having to play around with shims though. I'm just trying to remember what we had to do. It's been so long, I'm just gonna have to go back through and assemble everything, measure it all, make sure that everything is measured out correctly. And then I can measure the bell housing. Obviously we don't want the throwout bearing to just be riding on the actual clutch. So I'm gonna assemble it without any shims, and then see what our measurements are. And then we'll probably have to take it apart a couple times and make sure we get our shims right. So let's get going. We are also using the 4-piston Diamond Claw. I think it's probably going to be overkill. For those of you who don't know, it's literally this little tiny shim. It has some funky surface finish. Anytime you use a twin disc at like higher RPMs, it can either come loose or actually weld itself to the crank. So this little tiny, super expensive piece should prevent that. Thanks to 4-piston, go figure, it's the most expensive thing ever. Backside looks good. Everything's so gosh dang dirty from sitting. Gonna put the clutch on, not putting any of the frictions or steels in, make it easy. Got our flywheel on, no spacers, and our clutch shell. So a straight edge from this Merc. Wow, seriously? My hands are not working. No, gotta go center stupid. Exactly 2.5. How much is that? 2.502. Okay. What is our measurement from the face to the diaphragm itself? Literally like next to nothing. 0.065. I mean, it's not nothing, but 2.2. 2.232. So we need to pull a 1/4 inch off of the spacer. Which does make sense because we pulled a 1/4 inch off of the plate. I mean, I understand we could always shim the pivot ball. You can bring the pivot ball closer or farther away. I just don't want this bearing to constantly be rubbing on the actual diaphragm so it wears out that bearing prematurely. So if I can put a 10-20 thousandths air gap in between the bearing and the plate. Alright, I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is where we ended up. We are 0.905, so pretty much right there at 9. So we need to take exactly a 1/4 inch off that spacer. Cool, that makes me happy because I really did not want to run these. It's a little ghetto. Technically these are automatic flex plate spacers. So let's pull this apart and get it over to the lathe. So we need to pull 1/4 inch off of here. The question is, do I need to take anything off of this surface here? So let me pull 1/4 inch off of this surface and then see if I need to take anything off of here. Maybe I'll take a little. All right, let's jump over the lathe. So we need to go to this line that I just made. So all this needs to go. Right there, boys. All right, let's go deburr these holes, clean this thing up, wash it up, get it back on. Grab our handy deburr tool. We're going to clean up all these holes real quick. There we are. All deburred, washed. Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision. Smell all this brake clean. So I just washed it off with brake clean. Yeah, surface finish is decent. Probably could have cut that a little slower, but beveled the edges. Beveled the inside so the shaft will fit good. It's a super tight fit. Throw that pilot bushing in there. Cool. I'm gonna throw this all back together with the new shortened spacer. Well, guys, another day. Same day as before. Jeez, my face is filthy. Anyway, got a lot done today. This stupid transmission took way longer than I thought, but clutch is on, flywheel's on, everything's spaced, shimmed correctly, done, ready to go. So, yeah, I've also test fit the starter and everything, and of course, since we took 1/4 inch off of that plate, we have to now add 1/4 inch to this. So I'm trying to decide if I want to build another 1/4 inch plate to add to this, or if I want to just build a 3/4 inch plate. This one's a 1/2 inch plate. Other than that, got all of the track tough stuff on. Super nice stuff. So I need to finalize putting a fitting in here and then running it up and over. This side I had to modify quite a bit because I didn't like how far this came out. So cut a couple inches out of here, re-welded this fitting onto here. So this should come off of here and then go right over to those fittings there. But that's it for today, guys. I will pick back up here shortly. Tomorrow, the next day, we'll get some more progress and we'll go from there. Later.